Okay, so in this video we're going to be analyzing my Node 5 world record. So let's go. I'm going to be skipping most of the cutscenes and stuff. So let's start the run by using the A button to check the Goomba. So basically what I do here is I press the A button, and if the Goomba is in the top, right, left position, I get Goomba skip, so I can start the run. It has to be in the top left position for later. So here we go. In 1-1, um, I'm going to be sliding on the rolling hills as much as possible, being in them as long as possible, and jumping as far as possible off of the rolling hills. Make sure to turn back to not bonk, ground pounds close to the ground on the propeller. Triple off the Goomba to minimize left momentum on that slope. So I'm going to be sliding down as many slopes as possible. 455 is optimal there, but 454 is fine. Heading into 1-2 now, you want to slide late there so that you don't go down the steep slope. In second room, I'm going to be sliding down more slopes as much as I can. Sliding. Just sliding as much as possible. Slide under there and ground pound, crouch under there and ground pound, get the star. Star obviously makes you run a lot faster, so it's going to be good. Tilting the things to run down them at the minimal sliding angle. Doing the same thing here, except sliding. You don't want to slide your star though. So now we're heading into 1-3. In 1-3, I'm going to be doing the triple jump here. Obviously, try to go as fast as possible. And now, jump off the Koopa. Just run through the level. These early levels I'll be kind of skimming over most strats since a lot of people know from the any percent, but I'll be basically explaining them. You want to bonk there, it's the most consistent strategy. So I had to do a turn back here to dodge the hammers, but there's a chance this guy jumps down. So if he jumps down, you want to slow down and crouch over him. But he didn't this run, so I just ran past. There's a Toad cutscene. You want to mash through this Toad cutscene as much as you can. That way you're fast. And then you grab this Star House for later. Star House is very self-explanatory. I'll just skip it. Okay, 1 tower. This level has a lot of explaining. So, right when you get to this little crack in the ground, you're going to want to crouch jump. And then, as you get to around here, you uncrouch and kind of hold left. And you get a wall jump. And that makes the cycle much easier. You're going to want to delay your second wall jump. That way you don't wall jump too low and run into the question mark block. And then spin. You're going to want to wall jump as soon as possible there. Crouch. Spin from the ground. Wall jump as low as possible. That way you don't run into this question block, like jump into it. It's quite difficult to not do that. Spin, wall jump, big jump, delay your spin, and then press down right around there in order to instant land here. And this makes the cycle much easier. There's an alternative way of jumping off the dry bones, but it's actually slower. And then you want to wall jump, ground pound. And once you ground pound, you want to jump as soon as your ground pound is done. Jump here, crouch, land here, and you can wall jump, but I just jump here. And then you want to wall jump, do another jump, make sure it's at the peak acceleration. You want to wait slightly before wall jumping, that way you make it, and possibly twirl as well. Wall jump, spin, land there as soon as possible, jump, wall jump, late spin into an instant land here. You don't need to do an instant land, it actually might be slower, but I do it. Into the door. And you want to enter in the middle because at the edge would be slower since you have to walk. Let me play that again full speed. It's very complicated, but this is a very big time save. And there it is. So that's Soy Cycle. And then you also are faster at the end. So now you want to jump on Larry as soon as possible. This part's pretty simple. I just kind of mess around while waiting. That's actually about the earliest you can hit him, since you have to wait a bit after he gets up before you actually are able to hit him. Like, that is pretty much a perfect hit. This actually tied the IL world record, which means it was pretty much perfect with frames to save. Head into 1-4 now, so this level is also very tough. You wanna either crouch or don't crouch through there, it doesn't really matter. And then do a big jump there, swim through here, swim more, do a big full water jump and spin, and then crouch spin. So I want to explain this crouch spin. So you want to fall down here, jump again. Then when you reach around here, you want to do a medium crouch jump, and then spin so that you can keep more speed, and then spam jump as much as possible there. That was pretty good. And then you want to spam crouch, you want to spam swim so that you get more speed from this. Delay your 2 jumps, that way you actually make it up onto this top platform. And then you have to slow down slightly in order to not bonk on this clam. Then you want to get some more water jumps here. And you can get 2 water jumps here, but I only go for 1. You want to, if that spin is actually faster, you want to jump as early as possible here. Ideally, I get another water jump and then another one, but here I actually don't get it, so I just decide to not go for it so that I don't actually bonk. I end up getting a 417, which is solid. So next is Goomba. So this is why I manipulated Goomba at the beginning to be in the top left position, because now I'm guaranteed to dodge the Goomba. However, he can block me. I'll never get hit by him since I can always dodge him, but he can block me multiple times, and he actually blocked me 3 times, which is a pretty big time loss. So that was pretty bad. 1-6 time. I'm already behind now, although the Soik cycle in 1 tower still makes this run perfectly viable. You want to land as late as possible there. This is quite an understated method, so 1-6 can kill quite a few runs if you don't know how to do it, because the hitboxes on these Paracoopas is horrible. But if you kind of land on the right side here, and land on this Paracoopa like this, you'll like never get hit. Because the dumb hitboxes can be quite annoying if you don't do it like that. Most of this is pretty self-explanatory past this. You want to triple jump off of this. I'm not quite sure if jumping over it or sliding into it is faster. That still needs to be tested. You want to slide into that Koopa in Nold 5 because it's faster. 61 is good. Next is One Castle.
Jack just doesn't play the game though anymore. He plays Paper Mario.
So in this level, you want to keep as much momentum from forward moving ones. Spin and bonk just a little bit so that you land on this cog up here. Jump. Land on this one. Keep momentum from it and make it in here. It is possible to crouch through here a bit faster, but I never figured out how to do that method. Yeah, it's also possible not to turn back, but that method is very difficult. You want to do a bit of a turn back, but then kind of like keep momentum going and then crouch through there. It's possible to not crouch through there, but it's based on subpixels and not consistent at all. And you just want to take this part, it's pretty normal here. And then you want to set up so that you're like right here. And then as soon as it's kind of like around there, you start running. And then crouch. That's a frame perfect crouch. But if you get it, you can crouch through it and go through much faster. Like that. I hit this strat.
You'll definitely get it.
And then theorized it, Big Cheese executed it for the first time. I'm just gonna skip the quarter because it's explanatory by itself.
I don't even really need LCK for 56.
So then you want to run a bit and then spin. You could say I ran a bit and then spun. And then down drill on Larry.
My world record.
Very fast method.
If I
You want to lure Larry to the left for the first hit.
if I got coded, didn't.
And then Larry will get up there. And then Larry will get up here as well. The reason why you want to lure Larry left both times is so that you can spin to the left, wall jump,
To the fish.
twirl, key, twirl. It's faster. So, because when Mario finishes this key animation,
I lost a good amount.
he enters the door so much faster.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I get a 10 flat exit here. My best is a 956,
World 9.
but that's still pretty solid. Mostly because of Goomba is why I was slow. Got some cutscenes and then 2-1.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's definitely gonna happen at some point. I feel
in 2-1,
few years though.
I actually grabbed the shell by accident. It can sometimes happen, so I just throw it when I had this red Koopa to get rid of it. It doesn't matter.
Speedrunners just subvert expectations. Like speedrunning. I mean, think about how much.
So 2-1 is like pretty self-explanatory except for the one part right here. So you want to jump, do a small turn back, jump, and it's possible not to do a turn back here, but I do a small one just to be safe. And the rest of it's just hold right. That's like the one part which is actually semi-hard, but 2-1's really easy overall. So you want to kind of jump a bit on the slope, that way you consistently don't bonk, but also don't run into the spike. Top. Oh no, whatever, doesn't matter. Slide as much as possible, double, triple, spin right before you hit him, down drill as you pass this guy, and then wall jump. That's the fastest way to do that part with propeller. And then you just like slide, hold right. And yeah, then you're gonna want to jump into the star block, pick it up, and ideally you spin, but I actually missed the star here, which was a time loss for sure. I lost about 2 IGT to that. A bit less than 2 IGT, so that was unfortunate. One of the first time losses in the run that wasn't luck based. So here I line up a double and then a triple. Well, I'm at a double now, and now I can do a triple to not have to slow down or bonk there. Which is the way to not bonk, but also it's possible to do without the triple, but it's much easier with the triple. There's a couple different methods you can do here. You can jump here and then jump on the Koopa. That's the second fastest method. You can jump and spin boost off the Koopa. That's the fastest method, but also really inconsistent. And the most consistent method is just ground spinning right here. And I just decided to do that just for consistency's sake. Although I sometimes go for the Koopa jump strat in runs. So in 2 tower, I'm gonna explain this and then play it in full speed after. Ground spin, start holding right around there, bonk, land, jump, spin, wall jump, spin, wall jump. It's spin without a jump, wall jump, spin, wall jump, spin off the grate, wall jump, spin, jump, wall jump, spin, avoid the dry bones, gain left momentum, enter the door. Ideally you want to enter it a bit more to the left to get in so that Mario doesn't have to walk like that. But that's I didn't get it this run. It's not that much of a time loss. Walk slightly and then jump, spin, wall jump, spin. This wall jump is one of the hardest in the level. You want to do it just enough so that Mario lands and then spin off on the ground on one of the first frames you land, because there's actually an invis block right here, which you don't want to hit. Unfortunately, I messed it up. Another time loss. Because there's a delay between spins you can do, and I twirled right before touching the ground, so I had to wait to spin. Spin, wall jump, jump spin, bonk on the ceiling, that way I can grab the grate immediately. Wall jump, 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 grab, and high 69. Let's play that again. Very fluid level. So the first room was pretty good overall. 85 is solid, but this mess up here cost quite a bit. After the mess up though, it was pretty fast. A high 69 is not great, but not horrible. So next up is the Roy. You want to walk up until you ideally want to jump slightly earlier, and a full jump will work, but I jumped slightly late, so I stopped holding jump as I started falling, so that you land on Roy. So stop holding jump because I jumped late and I landed on Roy properly. And I just mess around in the shell phase and jump on him as soon as possible. The second frame Roy is visible, is the first frame you can hit him for second and third hit. I played those hits really safe in this run. Usually I play them a bit more risky. 2-4. Why is... Not quite sure why that play button is there. But let's start 2-4. So you want to start by walking a couple frames, then jumping. You have to walk a frame or two in order to double, otherwise it just won't do the double. Walk a couple frames before tripling. Jumping off this brick is the easiest because you don't have to do a turn back and it's much easier to not mess up. There's a trio of 3 invisible blocks here. One has a vine, 2 are just coins. You want to jump between the top middle one and the right one. So right around here, which I do. And you want to build up a triple by running on this platform bunch. Single, double, triple. There's an alternative method of crouching and then tripling off a Koopa over there, but it's way too difficult for runs in my opinion. You don't want to jump first frame off the ladder, otherwise you get a frame perfect ladder and not make it up on the platform. So I don't do that. You want to stay in the air while the wind is going as much as possible, that way you get more speed from it. The easiest method here is to do a single off the edge, spin, bonk on this slightly and make it up here. But I actually go for a riskier strat because of the bad 2 tower and 2-3, which Finny came up with. You spin on the right side of the sign, and then jump first frame off the vine in order or the ladder to gain a bunch of speed, like this. And if you do this method, you want to double off this question block, and then triple off of this part. If you don't, you're going to want to double here and triple here. That way it's easier to make. But since I got the fast thing, I was able to do it from further away and gain time. 2-4 is honestly sounds really complex, but past 2-4 isn't that difficult to do once you learn it.
Not gold.
Here, let me quickly fix this play button. Wait. Not quite sure why it's showing up. I'm just gonna refresh. I'm gonna skip over the auto scroller as well. 2 castles self-explanatory up to the boss. So if you go on the left, Roy will come out of any of these 5 pipes. So you ideally want him to come out of the left pipe and then come all the way out and fall down. But I get bad luck. Bad luck again. He shows up the 3rd time, falls, and I hit him. Now, he can only come out of 4 pipes before he comes out, so that's actually the worst luck possible. Oh, that's second worst luck. However, there's also delays between how much he, waits between coming out of each pipe. So, if you look at how long he takes between pipes, it's actually not as long as usual. These were pretty short delays. compared to a lot of other times.
So
And the rest of this fight is just landing on him as early as possible with the same second frame hits as I mentioned before, although I played them safe here too.
you know how it goes.
And you wanna, as the key reaches about here, you wall jump, key, and you as much delay as possible so that you walk to the door faster. This only applies to Node 5 and Cannonless, not 100%. Since in 100% he doesn't walk to the door.
So it might be
More cutscenes and 3-1. 3-1 is a pretty simple stage.
actually cool.
You want to just slide down slopes.
Come on, be good.
The first half is simple,
Will be very occasional.
so I just kind of like, I'm just running through, just hold right and run. You want to make sure you do a triple there. It's not that difficult to do though. And I actually lost time there. You want to land slightly earlier so you enter the pipe faster. Then you want to do a pipe kick, and then I miss it.
Oh, I knew it.
A decent time loss. So, here is a new strat I found. If you hold neutral while sliding, you actually keep more speed. So I hold neutral while sliding and slide longer after the slope to keep more speed from the slide. This only works on ice, but it's a good time save. It saves about an IGT throughout all of the slopes. And I do it for all of these. Because I missed the pipe kick, I'm going to get a 31, but a 32 is doable, a mid 32 even. And you're not supposed to land on that penguin, you're supposed to slide more. But the 3-1 overall didn't lose much time. These are just minor time losses so far. In some levels. Although Glory and the Overworld Goomba lost a lot of time. So you want to land on... So for 3-2, you want to land on this Goomba and jump off bullet. Slide in order to optimally not slow down that section. What just happened? Sorry, my bad. I went back to... Yeah, that was weird. Okay. So now you want to jump over the ice burrow. Slide as much as possible. Single, double, triple. It's possible to make this block without a triple, but it's weird and doesn't always work. So I personally do a triple. Turn back, grab the star. It's possible to wall jump to gain more speed, but it's a bit risky since if you aren't fast enough with the star, like you missed the wall jump or something, you can take damage to a bullet bill and lose the run. All this is pretty simple. You want to jump off the very edge of this, do a slight turn back, and jump. And that bullet is why you need to keep the star as long as possible, because if you're slow, then you run into it and take damage. Slide down these slopes, that's why I go bottom path. There's more slopes. Land on this, crouch jump. Why does it keep skipping? There seems to be a weird error with this video. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, I don't know why this is. I hope it doesn't happen again, I guess. So, crouch, jump, 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 and there. 449 is really good. Oh, my bad.
Nice.
Dude, why is... Okay, here we go. So, you want to equip a star from World 1 here. It's possible to skip these ice burrows, but it's literally a 1 in 12 chance, and not at all with the small time save. So, yeah, not doing that. But Big Ghost House has become quite a notorious level recently. The world record was much slower before recently, but that was because a new clip was found in this level. You want to enter the middle of the doors, that was another time loss right there. Wall jump, spin, instant spin off the pole, wall jump, jump, spin, normal spin off the pole, jump, spin. That's how you want to do the pole boom. I'll play in full speed. So this is the pull room right here. In 86, well, you still have star power activated is good.
So first that means 2 free ghost house.
And then you want to jump off this, crouch jump. You don't need to crouch jump, but it's nice. Enter the door. Okay, so here's the notorious room of Ghost House Clip, and I'm going to be explaining this pretty deeply. So first of all, you want to lure the boos properly, so I just let them get close to me, and then start looking left and right drastically. That way none of them are in the way for the clip. So the clip is coming up right here. So when Mario's foot, you can see Mario's foot is kind of in the wall. So as soon as it gets to about that point, where it's like about to be, I run to the right, crouch shortly before, and then hold neutral. And I clip straight through. Hold left a little bit and ground pound. So the exact spot is there. Oh, well, that's a little bit late. This clip is very precision based. But it's like literally right there. You can see when the visual cue passes. And then I do this. And then you just have to ground pound down to the door and enter. And that's Ghost House Clip. As you can see by my counters, I hit it 20 times in runs and missed it 33 times. In total, throughout my New World 5 world record grind. I'm gonna skip the cannon because it's pretty simple. You just go into the cannon. 6-1 time. So, here we go. So, in 6-1, we're gonna start off by running through. Okay, so I walk for a bit here to wait for this guy to delay a little bit more. Jump, spin, twirl in midair, and jump off the guy. If you don't delay, the spike ball will hit you. Full jump off both these guys, twirl twice, and you're good. That part can be pretty difficult, but it's not that bad with some practice. You want to crouch off the very edge. I was actually not very close to the edge. And then crouch jump, obviously. You'd ideally want to spin a lot lower, but I spin pretty high here. I still make it, but I've rubbed up on this a little bit too much. So the fast cycle will be very difficult because the spike is already coming down super quickly. I decide to go for it, and look at that. That was so close, but I managed to do it. Like, that was super risky to go for. I could have just waited for it, and it only loses about 0.7. But I decided to go for it because the run wasn't that amazing. You want to crouch, land on the very right there. There's an alternate trap found by Roadkill, where you go up here, wall jump, ground pound the bullet, and then spin up to another bullet. But that strat is just a bit too risky, in my opinion, so I don't go for it. There's also an alternate strat. If you don't go for Roadkill strat, you can still crouch through here and land here, but it's more difficult than it looks, so I don't go for it. Other people can, though, if they want, if they're consistent. I used to hold right here, but quite often I'd run into an issue where I would accidentally grab onto the climbable wall, so now I actually just straight up hold neutral, and then start holding right afterward. That way I don't accidentally grab onto the climbable wall in exchange for a tiny time loss. So that was a good strat to find. Entering 6-3 now. Gonna be... you're meant to down drill right here, but I dropped my down drill, so it's later. So that actually caused an issue because also you want to crouch through these to make sure you're not landing down 45-degree slopes. This guy can be super scary if you do that, but I managed to dodge him. Also, ideally you jump here, but I forgot to do it in this run. You do a quick jump spin in order to make it up here. Because I was slower, something crazy happened here. The Buzzy Beetle actually jumped. If my jump had not been perfect, the Buzzy Beetle would have been... I would have just ran into the Buzzy Beetle, taken damage, and the run would have been over. But instead I quickly crouch, and start holding right, and it kicks the Buzzy Beetle. This is a very cool strat, and it's the fastest way to grab the shell, is basically by doing this quick crouch wiggle, and then you can grab the shell like that. And so that's actually a very fast way of doing 6-3, is just grabbing that shell, and it's not incredibly difficult. You want to use the shell for this part in order to kill the Stalking Piranha Plant and not have to wait. You want to do a triple here as well, and I do, in order to quickly hit the loading zone without having to do 2 wall jumps. There's a strat where you bonk here. You bonk and then let go, but I do the turn back strat, which is a bit faster but a bit harder. After 6-3, you actually have a 0.2 time save from 4x3, unlocking this tower it's like 4x3 aspect ratio by unlocking the tower more quickly. So 4x3 time save for the win. You have to wait here for the bullet bill, pass once it's gone. You can actually, it's possible to mess that up, like it's actually something you need to watch out for. 6 tower, so this will be another deep analysis. So we're going to be spinning up here, down drill, and then once it's moved down a lot, full jump, wait until you stop gaining up momentum, spin, wall jump once it's out of the way. Twirl, jump spin. The instant lines here are actually pretty lenient. You have a couple frames to work with. You have to press down within a couple frame window. And I do a couple of instant lands in order to make it up before the skewer comes. And then I quickly do another full jump spin, wall jump, land on that, jump spin, wall jump as soon as possible, ground spin, wall jump, ground pound. This ground pound will make me land super quickly. It's possible to do without the ground pound, but it's not worth the small time save for how hard it is. Jump spin, down drill, jump spin, ground down drill. It's worth noting that there's another strat for this level found in the IL and the Canlis best theoretical time, but people don't usually go for that in runs. So after these down drills, you jump spin, wall jump, jump, line up, just right to do an instant land right there, small jump, and into the door. 558 is a solid time for this level. I also take Morton here pretty safe, although his hitbox is kind of bad. You have to wait quite a bit after he gets up in order to actually hit him. So I make sure to play safe here. I hit him a lot after he gets up, but you also have to hit him quite a bit after he gets up as well, so it's not actually that bad. Almost tie the IL, it's pretty close, just like one tower. 6-5. So I actually walk here at the beginning. I'm not holding 1, I'm just walking. I start landing right here. You can tell because like I start landing after I know I'm going to dodge the fish. For a specific reason I'll explain in a couple seconds. So right here is why I slowed down. Because you can crouch jump in this water if you slow down just enough instead of the normal strat of wall jumping, of spinning and wall jumping. You can just do crouch jumps instead, which are much better, much faster. Well, not much faster, but a decent amount faster, and it's really easy to do the walk strat into the crouch jump strat. You have to wait for the fish, and then you like jump out of the water as soon as possible so that you don't re-enter it. Jumps, spin, wall jump higher, but not high enough to bonk here. Double twirl and land on this. It's worth noting that there are 4 pipe kicks in this run, and I missed the first 2. I missed this one as well. 47 is possible, coin the king of 6-5, but I don't do it in this run because I missed the pipe kick. It was pace. It's actually faster to run down the steep slope, no matter how much you know about the game. It's super weird. Jumping you would think would be faster, but it's just not for this slope. I don't know why, but we tested it. And you want to run down this, jump, land on this as soon as possible because you get more light momentum. Jump off as late as possible, Jumping, I think, is a bit faster than crouching because you don't lose the momentum. Big jump, spin into and bonk a bunch. Land on this as soon as possible. That was a really good landing. Jump a decent amount, jump off the power block, fall off of this, like run off of it. And you want to do a quick jump, delay your second jump slightly, just enough to dodge this fish right here. Do an instant jump and another instant jump. You don't need to go for all these water jumps, but I go for them because they're fast. You want to delay your things just slightly to dodge some fish. And then do these two as quick as possible and do it spin after the second one. It's worth note. I just messed up, hang on.
See all the hours I spent.
My bad. Okay, so
I don't know.
I should probably mention the visual cue I have for these. As soon as you see this here, it's kind of hard to see, but if you see that, you have to do your next one you'll spin on. Your next jump out of the water you'll spin. You want to crouch as late as possible here, spin kind of late, wall jump. You don't want to crouch off the edge. You want to crouch a little bit from the edge. Full crouch jump, full jump off this bat. I messed up again, sorry. Man, this recording is not that good. Okay. So in this part, you obviously want to jump a bit early, as you can see. Full jump off this one, but stop holding jump after the first one. You want to only do a half jump off that one, because if you don't do a half jump, this second bat will be higher and you'll take damage to it. It's very important that you do the half jump off the second bat. Extremely important. A lot of even top runners don't do the half jump here and sometimes just lose runs to the second set of bats. So you want to spin under these just enough to bonk and land on these two. And then do two quick wall twirls. You want to delay your second jump until the bats are passed, and you can also pass this fish. Delay your other water jump until after these bats. And then this is the hard part of the level. Depending on how fast you are, the tide can be different and it can be harder or easier. But you need to go over this fish and under the bats. One of the hardest parts of 6-6 and pretty easy to lose runs. However, you can back it up by doing a bunch of other water jumps and then jumping on a question mark block near the fire bros. If you want to see that, I believe my 4527 or something has it.
That means 420.
Or my 4521. This room is pretty self-explanatory, but you want to crouch jump there, wall jump, okay, slide there, do a turn back jump here onto this bat. Two quick jumps, some crouches, and slides, and that's about it. And then pipe kick here. Boom, mid 422, not that bad. I'll skip the cannon. Okay, so 8-1 time. Right at the start, you want to jump on wall jump to gain more speed quickly. And you don't want to slide on these slopes because they're slower to slide on. And you want to run on these until the edge to gain a bit more speed from them. Obviously, run down these mushrooms as much as possible too. It's possible to jump off the last pixel of this one and jump here and slide, but I don't go for it in longer categories. So then you want to do a slight turn back, but also jump on this Buzzy Beetle. Jump, spin late, and then you throw it while holding 2 in order to keep height from it, and you go over the geyser. Let me play this shell boost again. So, jump here, do a quick turn back to grab it, jump, late spin, throw holding 2. And then I go under in case the meteors are bad, but you can go over with some patterns, and it's slightly faster. Second half's much easier, you just do some slides and stuff. I actually was close to taking damage there. I'll just quickly explain triple here for anyone who doesn't know. You want to slide down this slope as much as possible, twirl here, jump off this flat part, double, twirl, triple, twirl, and then jump there late, twirl, land as soon as possible, and go into the pipe. This was a pretty good 8-1 for a no 5 run. This is faster than my any percent PB, in fact. High 433 is solid. I don't know why this is here, but it's kind of whatever. Slide, triple jump in order to lose the least amount of left momentum to those left slopes. And then, okay, I'm gonna go first just to get this thing to go away. So you want to go just high enough to skip this Goomba, but keep as much right momentum slope as possible. Crouch jump here, land as soon as possible, and run as long as possible to get as much right momentum from that. Frame perfect crouch jump here to save a bit. Frame perfect crouch jumps are frame perfect if they're on slope surfaces, but not if they're on flat surfaces. Jump late, twirl while you're losing momentum, and then there's another frame perfect crouch jump which I got here also. You don't need to do a turn back there, I just did it for safety. Skip the checkpoints as you want to keep small Mario. Crouch jump there, save some time. It's another frame perfect. I'm gonna slide late here. Hold left, jump off this right moving one. There's a strat here called RSG where you jump off this one, then this one, and grab the star from below. But it's only a tiny bit faster and it's really risky. So I don't go for it here. Instead, I messed up again. Instead, I go for a strat where basically you ground pound it, ground pounding both like as soon as possible, right? And then fall ground pound in the star and gain right momentum from the slope. This is an important crouch jump that most people miss. You should do a crouch jump there. Line on this early, and you ideally want to get a slide here, like a wall slide, but I don't get it here. It's still a solid 8-2 so far though. Crouch jump, 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 and then you want to twirl as soon as you bonk. But I twirled slightly too late, and my second twirl was also late, so normally this is a lenient crouch jump, but this was actually a frame perfect crouch jump because of my bad twirls, so I ended up not getting crouch jump and losing some time. It's worth noting this small strat at the end. If you stop sliding and then crouch jump, you can go into that pipe faster.
That's not very common.
This was actually a really bad A2 for my standards of 425 is not good. You want to hold 2 while running up these slopes to gain speed from them faster. It's a really weird mechanic, but it's something you have to do. I'm gonna be skipping most of the 8-7 stuff, but I'll be talking about the time between the coasters, because obviously you're just waiting on the coasters, right? You want to jump off this one pretty quickly, twirl, double jump, and then triple jump as soon as possible. This is a strat called Muffin Triple found by Gasping Muffin, and it's faster than double wall jump. So in this part, you want to do the one after the star coin. You ground pound right about here, and jump off the head. I actually went early here, which was slower. I should have ground pounded a little bit later. I still got a 415 pipe, and here's another pipe kick. You obviously do this by holding left and spamming 2, or timing 2 presses. It's your choice. You want to jump off the head as soon as possible here. I do it pretty well. And then do double wall jump. You want the first wall jump to be high so that the second one's high and you make it. Backwards wall jump is a backwards triple is a frame perfect thing, and it's just for looking cool. It doesn't actually do anything for you. For this part, as soon as the spine coasters start to like merge together, like right when this one goes up, you jump off the very edge of it, double twirl, and a 340 is pretty good, but not perfect because the first room was a bit sloppy. This cutscene is 1.9 seconds faster in 4x3, which is why people use the 4x3 aspect ratio. It's for the 2 seconds in this cutscene, and I guess the 0.2 in the World 6 tower cutscene. Full jump here. You can actually stop earlier and do crouch jumps through it, but I do the safe strat, which spinning it that much, it may look excessive how much I spin it, but if I spin it this much, watch this Mecha Koopa right here. He passes me just as I go through. If I spin it any less, he won't pass me. And you can actually go under him if you do the crouch jump strat, but it's too hard and too risky for Node 5, mostly reserved for any percent in my opinion. It's worth noting that I got the triple there on purpose, so I could build up another triple here, but if you miss it, you can crouch jump here, double, triple here. But I didn't miss it, so I can just do the triple as normal. You want to jump kind of off the edge of that, and that way you don't have to do a turn back, and you get the cannonball triple. So now we have to wait for this pipe cannon. I actually lost an any percent random missing going into the pipe once. That was really sad. But yeah, we just wait for it, and then you stay kind of on the right and slide into it. I'm talking about bombless because I already lost 11 world record paces the bombless before this. So I should probably talk about this first skip. So you do a medium jump off the edge, spin as low as possible. That was pretty high. You can spin a lot lower. I like have a bit of air time. Same for this one. I spin early. It's just for safety since it was on a good pace for Node 5. And Node 5 doesn't need that small time save. My crouch jump strat is you run off this, and then crouch jump on one of the last frames before you fall off, and then like do a medium jump. And I did it perfectly there. Crouch jump is the fastest way to do that part, but it's also difficult for some people. You want to crouch jump late and not bonk there. You want to do a medium jump, just enough to not bonk. And then spin. Ideally, you don't have to wall jump like I do here, but quite often you have to do a wall jump here, and go. But I didn't have to this time. You want to spin it to around here. And I spun it a little further, but it was okay. I made it through with these. And full jump off the very edge and ground pound into the pipe. So here we go. Bombless. I'm gonna talk about my setups for bombless, but it's worth noting that there are a ton of different setups out there. So for my setup, I don't hold run until here. So right when I reach around there, I jump and start holding run while doing the jump. And then right around, when I reach right around there, pause things there for some reason, but so I jump right there, spin right there while holding run, and then I wait a couple frames, and based on the exact frames I wall jumped and I jumped, or the exact same frames I spun and jumped, I delay my ground pound by a certain amount of frames. And here I get first hit. For my second hit setup, right when he does that, I jump out, I jump, spin as I'm kind of reaching the apex, and then delay my ground pound slightly based on exactly how my setup went. I ended up timing it 1 frame late. And then right as he's like going back into the pipe, back into his clown car, I jump, delay my spin until I start losing height, and then hold left, delay my ground pound by the amount that feels right based on his position. And I get instant third. That bombless lost about 5 seconds on if I'd gotten that second hit, but it was still quite good. As I missed the second hit right here, I could have finished the fight at this point already. But instead I finished the fight a couple seconds later. I was still very happy about it since its pace was really good. So I'm going to skip to 8 castle. 8 castle time. So triple jump here. You can crouch there, or you can just run a bit to reset. Either way, you get a double here and then triple. If you jump out the last pixel, sometimes it like doesn't triple, so that's quite annoying. It's possible to frame perfectly jump through the fire bars over here, but it's way too difficult to ever be viable. The triple's way easier. Why did it skip? So instead, what I'm going to be doing here is doing crouch, double, triple. The triple was probably on the first frame you can do it, because I barely made that. My strat for this, it's worth noting, there's a bonk strat where you bonk here and do it normally, but I do a strat which is I think it's a tiny bit faster, where you do small turn back and crouch through that. And it's worth noting the turn back is while these things are on screen, so it's faster. I do a slight turn back here that I didn't need to, because it was Note 5, I wanted to play castle safe. You can also, you have to wait for this, which is why I was taking my time on the previous semi-solids, because you have to wait for the fireball. Fireball skip hasn't been done, but I do end up skipping it. I mean, I do end up going past it. Like, I played all this stuff safe, because it's Note 5 among world record pace, right? By a good amount. You want to go through this as soon as possible. It was a couple frames late, but it's still fine. I don't know why I keep skipping. Nope. I'm so confused. I think this VOD is messed up. I don't know what's wrong with the VOD, but sorry for all the skips. So then spin and into the pipe. This room is super self-explanatory. I'll just skip it. It's another spoiler. You just wait. And then as soon as like the end of the third coin, you want to drill down. That was a bit late since you can see the pipe. You can go in without seeing the pipe. I just wanted to play safe, as I've said lots of times. A 605 door is solid though. You want to enter in the middle, just like all the other doors. Now we're gonna run through these fireballs are random. You can react to all the patterns except for like one or two on the second set, but this pattern was really easy. So now we're entering first Bowser. So where you just run up to about here, and then you just spin, and then you just down drill on the left side of the switch. Okay, so second Bowser. Kamek dies. So as soon as Bowser's like kind of winding up for a fireball, I jump, and we want to be at the apex of a crouch jump, and that's a perfect trajectory for all of the fireballs. So that's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. You just want to like aim all the fireballs at the apex crouch jump height. So right here, Bowser has the chance to either jump forward, which is what you want, which is a 3 in 4 chance, or swipe, which is a 1 in 4 chance and loses quite a lot of time. A second and a half or so. And I didn't get swipes, so I got the optimal pattern, which is a 3 in 4. And I aim one more fireball, and now the fireballs don't matter, so I just do whatever with them. Go through this as soon as possible. Sometimes if the fireballs aim too high, this Goomba can fall on you, so beware of that. You want on this platform as much as possible. Escape. So obviously I'm landing on the right moving platforms as much as I can. Jump here. Left, right. Down drill onto that. Jump. Not go on that. Spin and bonk just enough so that you can make it through cleanly. Ideally land on this, but it's fine to land on this. It doesn't lose much. And then run off of this. You can spin a lot earlier than that in order to get an optimal Tommy strat, but my Tommy strat's kind of slow. You can see I'm like delaying a lot. Land and the castle with a 512 and a 4506. So there you go.
Oh, let's go, dude.
There's the analysis.
4507.
Yes. Yes.
one last thing I'll mention in this video is the reason why I checked this Goomba.
This. Split that later.
Happy.
So I reset and load the same file that I used for the run right here. I go to the World 1 file and
Shout out to Finny saying
I
that
check the
he's
Goomba.
gonna be the next world record.
So this Goomba, you can actually use a dolphin file and load it onto your Wii in order for the Goomba to always be in the top left position, which actually makes Node 5 a lot faster to start runs since you have to wait for the 1 in 4 chance every time you want to start a run. And there was a huge debate about whether it should be allowed or not. It ended up being decided that it wasn't going to be allowed. So you have to check to make sure you aren't using it by loading the same file and making sure the Goomba is in a different spot, because obviously it's in a different spot and the Goomba's not been manipulated. So I checked that just to make sure I'm not using that file, which I never have even downloaded that file. But yeah, there you go.
Why do I always get
And that's about it. Thank you for watching this Node 5 analysis.